Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be taking a look at Spirit Airlines, going for $4.20 right now, $4.20. So currently going for about a $460 million market cap, down 74% year to date. On January 10th, the federal government announced that it would not approve the proposed acquisition of the company by JetBlue. So the shares plummeted on the news. Let's go ahead and do a deep dive today. We'll talk about why I think this stock is a gamble, and how these shares are only appropriate for some of the most venturesome investors. A lot of the risks we're going to see here are really unfavorable. Spirit is facing an uncertain future. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, starting with quarterly data. As we take a look at total revenue and earnings per share, you could see that there's not much of a change in the revenue. They're making about $1.3 billion on the last reported revenue. That's down 5% year over year, and the previous quarter before that, down 6% year over year. Other than that, they've actually been growing their revenue. Take a look at earnings per share. Their earnings per share actually improved on the latest reported quarter by 32%. Besides the September quarter, where they're down 336% year over year, earnings per share has actually been growing. So one thing we do want to sort of dig into is their cash flow. The management of their cash flows has been declining recently. Cash from operations and per share, both of these basically from the previous 3 quarters that were reported have been down year over year. We'll start with cash flow from operations, down 220% year over year. That's not looking good for Spirit Airlines. And then the previous quarter before that, 63 and 115% respectively. Now, when we do the per share, down 97% year over year, but 2 quarters before the latest quarter that was just reported, down 3,600%. So looking at the cash flow of Spirit Airlines, this should sort of raise a red flag. When you start seeing big declines in cash flow like this, that's when you want to asking yourself if they can sort of sustain the business. And so the big problem with Spirit Airlines is the revenues aren't increasing as much, and they sort of need a partner to help themselves grow or help themselves survive. They are facing an uncertain future. So from 2023, if we go ahead and look at the balance sheet, we'll go all the way down to their liabilities and check out long-term debt. So the latest reported quarter, they have around $3 billion in long-term debt and other obligations that are coming due in 2024 and 2025. Take a look at their cash guides and their liquidity. About $1 billion in liquidity on the balance sheet at the end of the year, which is pretty much a significant shortfall. Let's go see how much interest payments they're paying on those loans. So they're paying about $135 million just for having all their loans. That's a lot of money, guys, and that's going to affect their bottom line. And so if you are thinking of investing in Spirit Airlines because you are one of those venturesome investors, there is the other side of Spirit Airlines is too big to fail. Now, with declining cash reserves, they do have to figure out how to pay off their debt for this year and 2025, or they're pretty much screwed. You got to think about their cash flows declining. Also, the revenues have pretty much stalled. So this stock is pretty much a gamble because you are betting on a buyout. When you go to their latest transcript, you could kind of see that they are sort of blaming the government about the anti-competitive structure of the industry. So what I think is going to happen is either there's going to be direct government intervention like the CEO says, but he also reassures the Spirit team is 100% clear and focused on the adjustments they're currently deploying will continue to make through 2024 to drive them back to cash flow generation and profitability. So how long can they survive with the remaining cash reserves that they have? That's another question that you have to ask. I myself am going to stay away from this stock. It's really a big gamble if you're trying to invest in Spirit Airlines. So if you are one of those venturesome investors, though, definitely watch that debt payment. Keep track and see if they are going to raise more money maybe. But if not, this thing is going to tank. That's just my thoughts, guys. I myself am going to stay away from this stock. It's a little bit too dangerous for me. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.